Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming and joining us for this webinar. And we are really privileged to have Maureen Keeley and Gavin Bree of Real Cheeky with us. And I'm going to turn the session over to them, and they can share about Real Cheeky and Real Success, which is the platform that can help manage your business, everything you need to do to give you back your time and help you be more productive. So, Maureen and Gavin, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Jenny. Appreciate it. So I'm going to start with, I'd like everyone to put in the chat what their role is. Are you a stager only, interior designer, or are you a real estate agent and a stager? Because that would be really good for our Q&A, and definitely post any questions that you have in there. And at the end, we'll go ahead and answer them. So I'm Maureen Kiley. I'm the CEO and founder of Real Cheeky. And we also have the pleasure of having Gavin, my co-founder here, and he's our ops and he's our resident. I'm not going to say it. I'll say it. It's a resident geek. And I like
I thought you were going to say guru.
Yes, he's a guru. And he's like, if you ever want to know anything, this guy is like the YouTube expert of just of our company. So, I would like to just explain my background a little bit, and then I'd like Gavin to explain his, so you guys can have a perspective on where we have come from. So 17 years in the real estate space, 10 of those were on the transaction side for me. So I automated real estate transactions in California from a TC perspective. And then I opened up Florida, and then artificial intelligence came in, and Gavin and I met on this journey, talking about artificial intelligence, talking about the processes of real estate and how frustrating the whole process of real estate is. And actually, I have a book coming up here next month that will be released called Exposed, and it talks about the antiquated processes of real estate. And we started a journey of creating an artificial intelligence application called Agent Sidekick. And that started the process of automating transactions. And as we went down the artificial intelligence journey, and as we went through this whole year of just disruption and noise in the industry, what we decided to do was pivot our business, because all the agents were telling us that, yeah, it's great to have one more tool, but we really need leads. We need things that we can grow our business. And now I'm going to let Gavin talk about him and his experience, and how what we're going to show you today is how he had done this before. And I'll let him tell a little bit about that. But what we've done now is taken artificial intelligence. We've taken tools out there that help agents in their business grow. So Gavin, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your background and where you came from and how we came to, this partnership with us to launch our Real Success program.
Yeah. So thanks for having us. Always been in sales and kind of systems and automation, and working in corporate America. I met a guy who had an idea to start a real estate business. So we teamed up and built a real estate company that in 3 years we scaled to 11 offices and 400 agents. And we were able to exit that business and sell it to get outside of real estate a little bit for a couple $1,000,000, and then pivoted into a coaching business. Because with all of our agents, as you guys know, and stagers, running your business is hard. We would tell them what they would need to do, but they just wouldn't do it. So we pivoted to more of a coaching firm, and then we hired 200 VAs to execute all the stuff we were telling them to do. So it was kind of like a plug and play system for their business. We grew that to a multi-million-dollar business with 1,000 clients, and kind of scaled that out. I was frustrated with a lot of the technology that is in the space, either in small business or real estate. It's not great, right? A lot of companies, they build a single use application and they kind of set it, and it doesn't develop past that. You can look at, if I bring up real estate tech, you could look at any CRM or any transaction management platform, and it looks and functions pretty much the same as when it came out. They don't really invest in innovation. They kind of set it, and that's what it is, and you get that one trick pony. Well, I wanted a tool that was easy to work with, that was just enjoyable experience to not have to push every single button, pull every lever, and do everything for you. So started building technology, and that's kind of when I met Maureen and ran in. We kind of had a similar vision that operators inside the business, they have a bunch of junk that they don't want to do, but they don't necessarily have to be the one to do it. They could use technology to actually get the leverage that they want out of their business. And that's the goal with what we're doing. And so we kind of took a step back and explored, okay, if I was operating a business, what would I want from the software and the companies I work with from my business? And that's why we put together this program.
Okay, thanks, Gavin.
Mhm.
So at the bottom here, take this URL, because Gavin and I and Maggie have started a school. So if you haven't been on school.com, you should definitely do it. Download the app. This is a free community. So it's school.com/realsuccess/about. If you take that link, you can join our community. We're going to be launching this program through there, but we're also doing some other content. So it's free content, social media, AI content, anything to help improve your business. Also mindset, because part of having a successful business is having the right mindset and being around people in a community that think like you, that want to grow their business, grow and have a life. One of the things that we talk about is, and I'm going to kind of get into the presentation now, is we talk about like what our vision is for our company. And our vision is that we want to work with entrepreneurs, solopreneur or teams or businesses that want to grow, that want to, we call it, it's sort of like the E-Myth. You work in your business or on your business. Most real estate people, and including stagers, right? You guys are in there doing the grind. And if you really want to grow your business, you need to elevate that. You need to basically look at the things that you're doing. Are they helping you or hindering you? And we want to bring technology. We want to bring a team for our, and we call them growth operators. So we're launching this program, and we started this back in March. And we both have over, and with Maggie, we have over 64 years or something of real estate business growing knowledge and experience. And so what we want to do is we want to team up with companies, solo entrepreneurs, people who want to grow and want to be part of a community of like-minded people. And that's where our school comes into play. So typically, even for me running a company, okay, we have all this stuff. So this to me is a great graphic, okay, because it basically tells you you have all this stuff stacked on your back. How many people that are in the real estate business or in staging, you've got a jam to get that thing set up. An agent will call you. They will say, okay, I need this place done because I have to do photography and I need you to stage it. And I need it yesterday. So a lot of times we're scrambling in our business, but if we work on certain things in our business, okay, like on our business and put systems in place, when those situations occur in your business, especially being a stager, you're going to have to think about, okay, oh, I still have to do all this. I have to do my books. I have to do all my marketing. Whereas if you have that kind of on autopilot, utilizing a lot of artificial intelligence help, it's not going to make you feel as overwhelmed. So that when something comes up that you have to deal with in your business, you know the things that you don't have to worry about are being handled. So what we've done in our company is we looked at the business of a real estate agent, and this actually applies across every business, okay? If I don't have a team, if I don't have people like Gavin, like Maggie, that can help and grow our company, and we have customer service, we have marketing, all of those things, most real estate agents don't have these things. And in order to have these things, to have a successful business, you have to have cash flow management. We just teamed up with this amazing company called Fund and Grow that's going to help our agents with all of their getting, or even stagers, right? Getting out of using your own personal money in your business. So many real estate agents do that. And so many business owners do. You'd be surprised. And we're going to be doing a webinar on that later in the month. And then lack of expertise. Let's face it, I am not a geek. Gavin's a geek, but Gavin teaches me to be a little bit of a geek, right? So we don't necessarily can do everything in our business. I am not graphically inclined, but probably you as a stager, you are, because you're creative, right? And you could get in there and you can do your graphics and all of that, but you can't necessarily do everything in your business. And you're probably not good at your books. And you're probably not good at keeping consistent with your content, because that takes a lot of work. So what we've done is we've created this program to help businesses grow. So most businesses, they kind of go like this. And this is like the worst year of real estate since 1993. So if you think about the current market, between the NAR settlement causing disruption and noise, and then you have interest rates, everybody election year, all these things are happening, and they always do. It's if it's not one thing, it's another. When I launched our AI application first time, we were about to launch all of Southern California, 30 Coldwell Banker offices with our software, and COVID hit. I mean, literally every manager called me and says, I can't do the April thing, we're shut down. I mean, so there's always something in our lives. And if you work on your business and you put the systems in place, no matter what happens to you, whatever the trend is, you can adapt because you know you have the systems in place and you can grow your business. The problem is most people in the real estate industry don't work on this, don't take the time aside to do it. They know they need to do it, but they don't necessarily do it. So what we've done is we've built that team. So many times in the tech world, there's a thing called a chief technology officer, right? So if you think about it, you don't necessarily, when you start a company, need a full-time chief technology officer, just like sometimes when you start a company, you don't need a chief financial officer, but you need those functions to be done. So what we're seeing in the marketplace across many businesses is that you have fractional people that you can hire. So we're calling them growth operators. Okay, so we're a growth operator. Our focus is to help agents. We are going to bring in some bookkeeping things into our school that agents, any business actually, can go into our school, because the structure of ours is not specific to real estate, even though we have an extensive amount of real estate experience. And the beauty of utilizing a team to help you is going to be able to elevate your company and also give you the skills that you wouldn't necessarily have yourself, but now you have that as part of your team. And so what we have done is I'm going to kind of talk about some stats, and I'm going to talk about how we address these. So I think the biggest one, and I'm going to say stagers probably don't necessarily have this problem like a real estate agent, okay? But 82% of consumers do want to call back. And I'll give you an example. Our air conditioner went out in Tampa last week. I was gone. My husband said, I called these guys. I would think that they'd want to come out. Nobody called back. He's like, I'll call the next guy. And these were referrals, right? And you do kind of expect at least a call back, right? But
Maureen, I'll say that this definitely pertains to stagers, because so many of them don't answer their phones and then they do go to the next one. And so we're just like the real estate agents. This definitely pertains to us.
Okay, thanks, Jenny. Okay, so it really is frustrating for the consumer, right? And I think we have some automations that help business owners with this, because yeah, you could be an appointment. You could be with your grandkid. Nobody needs to know what you're doing, right? But you need to be able to communicate with them. And I think the other one is that the branding is really important, because it normally takes at least 8 to 10 times for somebody to see your business to say, oh yeah, I keep seeing that. That's popping up. But there's strategies that you can do in your marketing so that your name is being put in the forefront, especially with artificial intelligence now. Okay, so there's lots of organic free things you can do, but it takes time. It doesn't, and you may not necessarily have the time or the skill sets to do it. So another thing that kind of resonated with me on this was NAR's statistic of 41% of home sellers find their realtor through a friend. And I absolutely and 100% believe in the CRM, and that most people are chasing leads in their business rather than cultivating the leads that they have right in front of them on their phone, their friends, their neighbors, their community, their church. All of those places can generate all your connections can generate an enormous amount of business for you if done properly. I literally had a friend that actually played tennis, and we got the deal. She was a realtor, and she never asked this guy. And he had 3 rental properties and investment properties, and he wanted to sell 2 of them and buy another one. And we got the deal. And she got upset with us. And I said, you play tennis with him. Why didn't you cultivate that relationship? And it's really important because I don't know, probably a lot of people listening to this have experienced that at one time or another, that didn't ask a friend about and tell them what you do. But that's how you working an amazing CRM process. And I'm not talking about canned letters going out. I'm talking about personalized, taking the time to cultivate that CRM. So I'm going to get into kind of the meat of this now. So I kind of gave you guys a high level of what we do, why we do it, and why it's important for a realtor, any business owner, stager to do some of these things. And I truly believe that this screen here is the successful components of a business. Now, do you have to do every single one of these things? Probably not, but it's probably good to do it because you never know what will result from it. So I'm just going to kind of share first the CRM. So on the right here, you have the CRM. That's the beginning, right? You look at your brand, you look at your colors, you look at your archetype, you decide, who are you as a stager? Who are you as a realtor? Do you resonate with your community? Does your brand stand out? It's really important. Just like that home that you stage is got to look beautiful. And even though the house may be kind of not what you ideally want to stage, you've got to figure out a way to make it look good. Same thing for your brand. So your branding and your social media and everything you do needs to be consistent. And it needs to say what you want to be known as a stager or a real estate professional. So we start off in our company with lots of different things, but we start with the CRM and the brand, okay? And a lot of people said to me, like, what was your brand, Real Cheeky? Well, before that, I was Stress-Free TC. And that was TC meaning transaction coordination. And we didn't want to get pigeonholed. So we rebranded. And people asked me, well, what's this Real Cheeky? And I said, well, real, it could be for like a real person, or it could be real estate. And like, I'm a real person. And then Cheeky was our chief technology officer when we were rebranding. He says, you know, Maureen, you're kind of cheeky, you know, the English word. And it kind of stuck with us. So we bought it. We actually bought the name. And I think what happens with businesses is some people liked it, some people didn't, but most people liked it. When we went to trade shows, they were like, because it caught someone's eye and they're like, that's kind of fun. And they're like, what is this? And it gets people to be inquisitive about what we do. And our tagline was real estate made easy. So your brand is really important. Now, we also believe that all of these things, and now with artificial intelligence, I will be talking about the chatbot and how leads can be happening for you while you're out working in your business. You can actually get leads through your website using chatbots. And these are just really, and we can give you guys this PDF. So if you take pictures, you can, but I can give it to Jenny and Jenny can post the PDF of this presentation. I'm going to talk about the CRM first. And I kind of want to talk about it from the standpoint, and I think these numbers are really low, but this is actual statistics from Gavin's company. So when he ran his brokerage, he actually studied each agent's behaviors, right? And what happened with their CRM. And so if a person, doesn't matter what company you run, if you have 100 to 250 leads in your CRM, it should generate 1 to 2 closes. Now, I recently was talking with a team leader with EXP, and he was telling me, and he's been in the industry for 23 years. He says a really well worked CRM should yield 7 deals a year. And I agree. If you really work your CRM, and I'm not just talking about sending out emails and sending out texts, there's things you build all around your client relation management system. So there's events, there's things that you want to do, the handwritten things, there's personalizing, but it's important to know that this is a gold mine. Your network is your net worth in your business. And most people are just out there, I need leads, but they haven't taken, and I can't tell you how, we have one agent in our program, his phone, he has 8,000 people. He doesn't even use his CRM. He joined our program, 8,000 people on his phone. And I go, how do you manage that? Because I know I have 2,700. Everybody on this, watching this, you guys go look on your phone and see how many are on your actual CRM. So if you think about it, if you just took 1,000 people, you should be able to get 10 sales per year, minimum. And with, I don't know, Jenny, you can share with me, because I don't know what the average staging deal is, but imagine I don't know what you normally make. What's the average, like in real estate, right? It's 3% on one side, 2.5%, 3%. And at the median price is 431. So what's the average a stager makes on a deal nationally?
We usually encourage them to be, minimum 30 to 40% profitable. And their stagers, depending on how their business is structured, they could be just mid 5 figures, low 5 figures, or well into the 6 and 7 figures, depending on their model. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So per person in their contact, do you, I guess I'm going to look into that, but it'd be really interesting to know like that correlation. So if you have 1,000 people in your contacts and you get 10 deals a year to stage a home, what would that be in your business? For a real estate agent, it'd be worth 155,000. And this is low.
With stagers, we have to churn out a lot more volume. So, instead of, if we only did 10 a year, we would starve. So 10 a month would be good.
Okay.
Our pool is a lot bigger because we can call on, we can contact every real estate agent, investor, seller. So our CRM should be much, much larger. And, but the ability to have a lot more volume per contact even. So we can talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. So optimizing your CRM, it is a known fact that CRM systems can increase your sales up to 29%. So if you learn anything in this webinar right now, is if you only did one thing and changed one thing in your business, if you actually worked your CRM, that's it. You wouldn't have to generate new leads in marketing and spending ad spend and all of that. If you just work your CRM and cultivate that. Now, some people don't have a CRM, they're new, right? So there's other things you have to do to actually work, to grow your business. But what we do know is, and I've told a lot of realtors, because we do work with a lot of real estate people, I tell them, get rid of those broker canned email campaigns. You've got to personalize it. And it's sort of like, and I know many of you have probably posted reels on Facebook or Instagram, and you know that you need to do your campaigns, do a lot of recording all at once. It's really the best way to do it. And then you have it all scheduled out, and then you do those spontaneous things. But personalized emails, you will get 6 times the result, okay, of what normal canned stuff is going out through your, general, like if you go into if you don't personalize it all and you go into like something like Constant Contact and use their templates, it's boring. You have to do things that are more personalized. And we do know that text, even though they are getting more compliance on all of this communications. Text really does work, but you have to be careful how much you text, because then you could annoy somebody that is, getting all these text messages all the time. So text, the open rate is unbelievable. It's 98%. And it's actually the preferred method of a lot of people. I know for me, emails now, I don't go and look at my email except twice a day now, because I get so much other stuff that's not important to my job. So I always tell everybody, text me. Okay, because that'll come to the top of my pile and then I can respond. So I love text. Maybe some people don't, but I think a lot of people do. Okay, I want to talk about reactivation campaigns, because I think probably a lot of people listening to this and watching this webinar are in this situation. They haven't really actively worked on their business and worked on their CRM. So the first thing we do when we bring someone into our program is we get them on a reactivation thing. And so what does that mean? Reactivation means that you haven't talked to people in a while, right? Maybe you met them 2 years ago at some event and they're in your database and you're like, I don't know what is going on with this person anymore, and I feel a little weird calling them. So what we've done is if a person really likes to do events, like it could be a coffee hour, it could be a wine tasting, it could be a barbecue, it could be an ice cream social, whatever. We ask the agents that are in our program, just pick an event, and it can be simple or it can be fun. And so what we do is we say, now we're going to clean up your database. And what we're going to do is do these reactivation emails, reactivation SMS, and we're going to engage the people that are in your database so that you can basically re-engage with them and say, hey, I'm having this event and, I realized I don't have your date of birth. Or, hey, I didn't realize I don't even have your physical address. How am I going to send you an invitation? And I am completely guilty of that, because real estate agents, you don't know what their address is. And half of them don't even go to the office anymore. So how are you going to get in contact with people? And as a stager, I think it would be an awesome campaign, because you're kind of artsy, right? So you do something like maybe a handwritten note or a nice stationery or a nice invitation that goes out in a postcard. Nobody gets mail anymore. So it's another way that you can talk to people and re-engage them. And even if you only did it to 100 people in your database that you wanted to reactivate it, they would really like it. I think people really do like mail actually now. And newsletters. So I'll give you an example of what not to do. If you're in the real estate field or you have access to newsletters that are kind of industry related, that somebody writes for you, you can take parts of that, give them credit, but create your own newsletter and tailor it to your market, to the people that are in your community, and do it digitally. But then once a quarter, this is what we do with our people, is do a paper one, even if it's only to your own neighborhood, because people forget, right? People don't always remember that you're a stager. So you got to remind them. And what better way is in your community that people that, hey, I'm here. I have this great information. And oh, don't forget this, I have a digital version. So make sure that you go to and bookmark my digital version and give the website inside your newsletter. I think this worked for us. We did 200 I think, in a community. It was a gated community. And then we did a little bit outside our gated community. And people liked it. And they actually would send you an email or a text message saying, hey, I got your newsletter. I really liked it. So you provide community information, you provide business information, and you can provide anything, even, just anything that interests you and that you think would engage your CRM and your sphere. Okay, this is a big one. We are guilty of this, and we're changing it. And the reason why is I started thinking about this, and I told Gavin and Maggie, I said, you know what? We're not asking anybody for reviews. And then I started looking at our agents' reviews, and they didn't have that many. And so, and then another agent told us in California, he goes, yeah, I lost a $2.5 million deal because I didn't have enough reviews. He goes, I couldn't believe it. The guy went to my church. And just because you think you're going to get the deal, sometimes a kid will be involved. And the kid will say, well, I'm going to interview dad a couple more realtors just to make sure we get the right realtor. And same thing for staging, right? So if you could be up against other stagers and they compare your reviews to others. Also, I think the importance of reviews is this. You don't go to a restaurant without looking at Yelp or Open Table or Resy without looking at reviews. I'm not walking into, well, maybe some people do, but I don't go to a restaurant without looking at reviews. And if it's not 4.6 or better, I'm not going. So, and I'm a good cook. So I just like, I can cook better if it's less than 4.6%. So I don't want to go spend my money on something that is not good. And that's what we have to start thinking about within our own businesses is going, and we have an amazing program that helps automate this. And you control the reviews. Like if anybody's on Yelp, you might want to reconsider being on Yelp as a business owner for, I know we've ran into some realtors spending a lot of money to do it. And the thing is that you don't control those reviews. So it's really important that you control your reviews before they go public. Okay. I talked a little bit in the beginning about the website, but the website's really important, and owning your own website, not necessarily through a brokerage or an association of some sort. You really do want to, because there's going to be some things in tech, I think, that you're going to want to utilize, and you want to create, like, you don't want to just do a canned template out of GoDaddy or something. And it doesn't cost that much money to do a really nice website, but 75% of people look at someone's website and says, is this sketch? Is this quality? Do I believe this? You get a couple seconds for somebody to look at the website. And if it doesn't resonate with them and your value prop is not on the front, right smack in front of someone, then you really are going to lose a lot of business that way. And so we highly recommend talking about your brand, talking about your logo, and having something say about you as a company and what you stand for, so that you can stand out in a crowd. So if you would go through your emails, right? So I'm sure a lot of you, especially ladies, have a shopping email. Like, I don't use my work email for anything for shopping. So I have this shopping email. And I can go through and look at the subject lines of everything in my email and know, okay, if I ever want candles, I know this company, right? If I know I want supplements, I go to this company, right? So you want to be that person, even though the person's not interested in staging right now or any kind of interior design, right? Because interior design kind of comes with staging. You want to be known as, oh yeah, I know who to go to, because I just go to my email because I remembered Sue. Okay, Sue does staging. If you're in their inbox all the time, they may not click through, but they see your subject line. And that's important. And how you portray yourself, everything has to be consistent. Your color, your logo design, your website, all your marketing needs to be consistent across the board. Colors, look, feel, how people are going to resonate with you and remember you. And every time you're in their inbox, they're like, oh yeah, I remember her or him. Okay, social media branding. Oh my gosh, there's so much about social media. So I'm going to give you guys a few tips. So right now we are doing a beta test, and of course we're AI people. So we actually developed an app using AI. Okay. And we've been training AI for a while. And so now we are launching a beta of training real estate agents to be #1 in their market using AI. Now, this is pure brilliance. And we have a step-by-step process that we have the agents do, or they can have our staff do it for them as part of our Real Success Business Mastery program. But we're also going to be putting that in school as a course and a product that we're going to sell. So we'll do a small version of a course. We are going to have a whole social media course that will be free in our school, because there's a lot to cover for social media. And I'm going to just say this. There's certain parts of your social media, you guys, you have to do yourself. Now, I can't believe it's coming out of my mouth, but I had people do it and they didn't know what they were doing. And I actually want to thank Jenny, because Johnny helped me see a whole nother world on his social media course that he's doing. And we've been talking about it because I would like to bring him in for some of our training, because he does a good job talking about social media and the importance of social media and actually understanding all the algorithms and all of the stuff you have to do. So we basically started doing this as a beta for our existing client base. And it's amazing what is happening and transforming within Facebook and Instagram. And there is a lot of things you have to do. Like, for example, I'll give you one example. Don't ever give somebody a thumbs up, like, in your social media. You should comment or you should get a heart, because that's telling the algorithm that if you just go through and just hit like, you're hurting your feed. So you definitely need to do that. And I think the other thing that really resonated with me is if you only get so many people to be your friend. So you have to go in and you have to get rid of those people that really don't serve you. If you've got somebody randomly that came in and is in India or China or somewhere, and they're really not your friend and you don't know them, you need to get rid of them all. They call them ghosts. And so in social media, you want people who are going to engage with you. And this could be a completely full-time job. So what we've done is we've created all these scripts. We've created basically, we can't do your video or your reels for you, but you need to do those. And you guys are amazing people because you're stagers and you've got that creativity about you, and you can really make some amazing reels, and you can do them ahead of time, right? And you just need to have a structure. And what we do is we basically help our agents do video and do things to promote their business that they personally have to do. And then all the other stuff is not that hard, once you get your account set up properly. So it is a very big deal and it takes a lot of time, but you can automate some of these things and you can use artificial intelligence to